the problems in the elderly patients. So that's the position from the lower side. The limb is in slight internal rotation, and there is no excessive stress on the other limb. And this should be well padded to prevent any kind of common penal nerve injury. Now, as discussed, you have to have the torso away from the same side. So you should have the torso in approximately 10 to 15 degree of adduction on the other side. Rather than pushing the leg in the adduction, you should have the torso pushed away from the side. We use this kind of side support on the either on the chest or the patient is not able to move the shoulder, because most of these elderly patients sometimes they have a stiff shoulder. We put along the body so that even when you give the traction, there's some bit of counter traction given by the body, and body is not shifted along this. So what happens if you give an over traction? Suppose as the normal traction given on this side and the fracture looks pretty well reduced. So your trajectory for the entry point is pretty clear, and your iliac blade is not going to hamper the guide wire entering in. The moment you give an over traction, so the traction has increased, the window remains the same, the position remains the same, and you just add in the traction on the limb. You see how close you move when you want to enter into the just medial to the trochanter. So this area between your entry trajectory and the iliac blade, you have sufficient distance there. So never over traction, because what happens if you try to give over traction, what happens is that the limb, actually the hip joint goes into abduction rather than adduction. As you can see here, the moment you give traction, there's normal traction, you have a decent trajectory to go in. The moment you try to give more traction, the pelvis moves on on your same side, and the hip goes into abduction rather than adduction. So hip goes into abduction, and then your trajectory is hitting the ilium, and it's very, very difficult to make a good entry point in these patients, and they struggle a lot right from the beginning, that you are a lot of time in your patient and you're not able to make the perfect entry point. As rightly said in the previous lectures, I have personally no experience, but yes, people are doing with the lateral position, with traction table, without traction table, that's entirely your choice. So you have to always reduce before you start making an entry point. That's pretty clearly told in both the previous lectures, that you have to first reduce and then start. You cannot start and then reduce. Like at one point of time, I think if I recall a few years back, you say the nail will reduce your fracture. So now that theory has been completely gone off. You have to reduce, like you do plating. So to first reduce the fracture and then plate. So it's not that your nail is going to reduce the fracture. So you have to reduce first and then start. So as you can see here, that's the AP view of this patient, looks pretty well reduced with the neutral medial buttress. And lateral view, the split, if you take the 90-degree C-arm, you will see a view like this where an antiverse will be there, and you'll see the shaft there. But preferably nowadays what we do is we take the lateral view in 15 to 20 degree of rotation, so that you get a good smooth view of the neck and shaft in one line, so that you can easily see where your guide wire is going in the lateral view. As you can see here, that's another patient with the AP view and lateral view taken in 90 degree. The moment you move it to 75 degree, your reduction looks perfectly fine with the neutral buttress anterior and medial. So you always have to have a pre-scrub reduction. If not possible, then you should have a pre-op planning to achieve the reduction before you start the entry. But you should always have a plan in mind that how will I reduce this, and you should take all those instruments on the table so that you don't struggle. So either you reduce it before the surgery, before the scrub, or if you are scrubbed and the reduction is not stable, despite achieving that with some of the posterior lifting, other things, then you should have a plan. How will I reduce it by one, as shown by Dr. Sandeep? And like these intravenous, either a Roman or a guide wire or a shank, you have to decide which one you're going to use for this particular patient. Sometimes you may have to use multiple metals to reduce these fractures. And you should know your implant well. There are different types of nails available, and every nail has some difference in the angulation. So what I usually do is, after reduction, I put the nail on top of that particular patient's femur, and decide what is the perfect entry point for this particular nail or this particular patient. So somewhat individualizing the type of entry point for each and every particular patient. As you see, this is a very beautiful paper that influences the nail geometry. So the say different types of nail has different types of angle, and if you make the same entry point for all those nails, your fracture displaces gradually to a different angle. So you should know what is the type of nail you are using, what is the angle with them, and you can't remember because there's so many types of nails available. Just before putting the nail in, before the entry point, you just patient's femur and find out for that particular patient, for that particular nail, what is the ideal entry point. And if we talk about this, the universal starting point is just medial to the tip of the trochanter. So first is the skin marking. These are the slides. Thanks to Dr. Ithaf, Professor Dr. Ithaf. So he has given these slides. So he make the entry point, he make the skin marking like this. So first you need to know where the tip of the trochanter is, and from there you mark your distance 5 centimeter, 10 centimeter, 15 and 20. And usually your incision goes from 10 to 17 centimeter. So that's how we do the marking. That's your GT, and beyond is 5, 10 and 15. So that's the usual area of your skin incision. And also it goes posterior, it's not going in line with the femur, it goes slightly posterior because we have a femoral bow. So if you're going to put a long nail, you should be going in the trajectory of the femoral canal. So this is how I do. I just mark the trochanter. I just put 4 fingers, approximately 10 centimeters proximal to that one mark, and that's my incision. So you can see that's how far is the incision from the, so you should have a high skin incision. People who just make the incision here because nowadays the nails are having trochanteric entry points. So we all thought that we should be close to the trochanter, but actually we have to go in the trajectory of the bone in the medullary canal, and the more proximal we are, better we are in terms of the technique. You see how high we, that's an ASIS, and we are just going beyond that. So the classical entry point is the just medial to the tip of trochanter. That's not an ideal entry point, that's too far medial, and that's on the tip. So I just don't want these two. So these both of them are wrong. This is also not good. This is also not good. So what we need is just that's your tip of the trochanter. So we just want it just medial to the tip of trochanter. Why we need this? The reason being because when you try to wean on top of this guide wire, if you are at the tip or just lateral, you are going to eat away the bone on the lateral side because they are all side cutting reamers. And if you are not perfectly in line with this wire, your reamer will cut off the bone on the lateral side, and this fracture, suppose this is the fracture pattern, your nail will go from here. The moment the nail go from here, it is going to bring the fracture into varus, and that's bound to fail. We all know that the varus is the worst thing to do if you are put the fracture in varus during surgery. It's bound to fail, and that's you just waiting for the failure to happen. If you are using an awl, so you just have to write. Either you have to write from the medial to lateral side or from lateral to medial side. So if you see that's 2 medial, this is also medial, and there's just perfect just and the medial part of the tip of the trochanter. So if you can see the structure pattern here, that's the fracture here, right? And I recall a few years back we all used to enter from the fracture side because that was the teaching. You can enter through the fracture side and put the nail. But the moment you put a guide wire here and try to ream, you are going to go more laterally, and the fracture will be fixed in the varus. And that was the reason that most of the PFMs were failed at that time. You can use a honeycomb. So honeycomb is a seam-like structure where you can put one wire here and another entry. So you can go either anterior, posterior, medial, or lateral, depending on which way you want to go. So that's a diagram put the lateral to the tip of trochanter, and you want to go medially. So use a honeycomb. You know how much medial you want to go, and based on your further medial, you can go further medial. So use of these honeycombs is very good because they can move from 2 millimeter to 4 millimeter, and in different directions. You can go anterior, posterior, then lateral, depending on what is the requirement in that particular case. The second thing in an AP view is that your guide wire should be parallel to this lateral border of the proximal femur. So it should be parallel with the lateral cortex of the proximal femur. That's also very, very important, because otherwise it will put the fracture into varus or too much of valgus. As you can see here, this all is going exactly parallel to the lateral cortex of the proximal femur. That's the AP. And now if you go in the lateral view, so your guide wire should be going just at the posterior border of the femoral neck in a perfectly 75-degree angle lateral view. So either should be touching the posterior, will look like it's touching the posterior cortex, or it is posterior part of the neck and then going into the middle of the shaft. As you can see, there are two different types of fractures. Both of them, the wire is going perfectly to the center. So regardless of the entry point, the ideal portal is that it has to be collinear with the long axis of the femur on the lateral view. So AP, it has to be parallel with the lateral cortex of the femur, and lateral it has to be collinear with the long axis of the femur. So after the end of all this discussion, is there any ideal entry point? There is no ideal entry point. You should use one type of nail to understand the different types of pattern of fractures, how you fix them with different types of fractures, and you should know the ideal entry point for each and every patient. But broadly speaking, it is just medial to the tip of trochanter. Why there are so much of variations? Because it depends on the trochanteric profile, neck shaft angle, and the different types of implant you are using. Two lateral is absolutely no for whatever type of implant you are using. It has to be just medial to avoid any kind of varus malreduction that's detrimental for the fracture healing. Thank you all for being there. If you want to